Hi everyone, my name is Priyanka and welcome to my vlog. Today I'm going to talk about 10 ways in which you can identify emotional triggers in your life. These are the reasons why you are self sabotaging your life. So, once you understand these 10 emotional triggers, you will be able to at least have a basic idea of what's triggering you. And these are very basic emotional triggers. So, the first emotional trigger that we are going to talk about is the tone of voice. Now, most of us do not like people when they are rude to us, when they're being authoritative to us. Their tone is sounding very obnoxious. And we react more to people who have no idea of what we're going through in life, and yet they want to come and give their opinions to us. And when this happens, when you understand that you are not liking someone's tone of voice, what you can do is you can self regulate yourself, because most times such people have a tendency to provoke you, to bring you down, and if you are reacting, then you're simply giving yourself away and you're moving into a negative space where you don't want to go, because you're doing very well and you want to stay at a high frequency vibration. Now, if you understand this aspect of your life, you understand that you get triggered very easily when someone speaks to you rudely or someone is being very authoritative. Then you need to understand that it comes from your childhood trauma, because somebody, let's say your parents or your teacher at school, or an elder sibling, spoke to you very rudely at all times, and they made you feel like you were not worth it, you had no idea what you were doing in life. You simply didn't have any understanding at that time that these people were destroying your mindset. And it usually happens in childhood. People don't realize that we carry a lot of childhood trauma in our life. We can do a very simple exercise whenever someone is talking to you very rudely. Just to take a step back, start counting backwards from 10 to 1, and just reduce the emotional state that you're in, because right now you're in a very irritated emotional state. Let's come on to the second emotional trigger. The second emotional trigger is when you get rejected or you get criticized for small things. Rejection is something that nobody takes positively. I've never seen another human being take rejection positively unless they've worked really well on their conscious mind. And what happens is we get rejected in relationships, and we go through heartbreaks. And what we don't understand is some of those heartbreaks were not necessary, because we were assuming too much. We were thinking that we are doing better in a relationship, or let's say you get rejected in a job interview. You prepare so well for a job interview, you have your sights on a company and you really want to work there, and then you get rejected. There's always a scope to do better in your career, there's always a scope to do better in a relationship, but not at the cost of beating yourself down, because once you do that, it's very difficult for you to pick up those pieces of yours that you have taken a hammer and chiseled away from your self-esteem. So it's very difficult to do that. So it's better to understand that you react in a certain way when you are rejected or criticized. And to deal with it, what you can do is you can start understanding how you react when someone criticizes you, or how you take upon rejection. Most of the time, that rejection is happening because either we are not fit for that career, or we are not fit for that individual, or it is happening because sometimes destiny has better plans for us, and you have to start paying attention in the way in which you are reacting to that rejection. Because if you are reacting and just bringing on a lot of stress, you are taking out that stress on others, then it is just not the way to live your life. Because if you want to live a good life, you have to take that rejection in your stride, work upon yourself, and start asking this question from yourself: maybe I got rejected, so what can I do to make my life better? What skill sets can I improve upon? What can I put in a relationship? What ways in which I can improve my self? And that is where you will get the answers. Third emotion trigger is when you feel ignored or overlooked, and that is a big emotional trigger for everybody. When they're ignored by their partners, when they are ignored by their bosses, and when their effort is overlooked, especially at workspace, where you're putting in a lot of effort to please your boss, you're putting in a lot of effort to make your colleagues happy, and nothing is working out for you. Everyone is ignoring you, everyone is overlooking the efforts that you're putting in. It happens to a lot of housewives too, that they put in a lot of effort at home, they build these beautiful homes, they raise these beautiful children, they put in a lot of effort, but their efforts are overlooked and they are oftentimes ignored. So what do you do in that? First of all, you need to understand that if you're getting emotionally triggered just by being ignored, then you need to have a conversation with yourself first. Identify why you are feeling ignored, identify who's ignoring you. Sometimes we just feel ignored by one individual, and then we start assuming that everyone is ignoring us. That is where our thought process has to change. We need to change the idea that only maybe one individual is ignoring us, but we blame the entire world for ignoring us. Suddenly it was just your husband who was ignoring you, or your boss that was ignoring you, and now you are telling your kids, if they ignore you for a little second or millisecond, you just go up to your kid and say, why are you ignoring me? And maybe that child is not ignoring you, it's just that they are busy playing. And you will realize that if you're doing that, then you are generally putting everyone in that box that everyone ignores me. No, that is not true. A lot of effort to please people, and people are not responding the right way and applauding the efforts that you're putting in. And it's time for you to just stop and tell yourself that I don't need anyone's validation, because my validation comes from within me. I am validating my efforts. And once you do that, once you validate your efforts, you will find that a lot of people will now see the confidence in which you're living your life, and they will come to you and say to you, you are doing great. So the confidence that you need for this beautiful life of yours is right within you. That validation is right within you. So the fourth trigger is uncertainty. We are in a habit of controlling everything in our life. We control people, we control circumstances, we control situations, we control everything, because when you're in control, it's easier for you to live your life, because uncertainty gives you a lot of fear. You live in fear of uncertainty because as a child, you grew up with parents who wanted to control everything around them. And as an adult, you're just copying them. You're copying this habit that, if you're not in control of your life is not going anywhere. Isn't that what you've been taught? That you have to control everything, control every aspect of your life. And that is where you need to understand that if you're controlling everything in your life, you will just taking on a lot of worry and anxiety in your life, because once you start controlling things and they don't go the way you expected them to go, what you will do is you will take on a lot of worry and stress. You will think, why is this uncertainty happening to me? Why is this individual uncertain? Why is my future uncertain? And then you just worry and you talk about this to everybody around you, and they tell you, no, no, you should be in control of the situation. You should have taken these steps to control the situation, and give a lot of energy away worrying about the things that were going to happen in your life. And you need to stop doing that. You need to stop worrying so much about the things that are not going your way. And fifth emotional trigger is conflict. Now, what happens is that when we are confronted by individuals, maybe it's a random confrontation or a confrontation by your relatives or by your spouse or by your office manager, what happens is that we lose our cool. We get triggered that, how dare this person come to me and say to me. And this is in regards to the first point, that someone is talking very, very rudely to you, and you don't like getting confronted on the way in which you're behaving. Sometimes a behavior can be very, very ill. We are behaving very badly, and someone is coming to us and telling us that, your behavior is not right, and you need to improve upon your behavior. And rather than listening to them, rather than trying to understand how we can improve upon ourselves, what we do is we get triggered and then we start fighting. So, whenever you feel offended in a confrontation, what you can do is you can understand that I am getting triggered because someone is coming to me and saying to me that, you did this, and I do not like anyone putting me in a corner. This is a childhood trauma that's coming in. You got scolded a lot as a child. Your parents were very, very strict, and they told you that, most times that it is your fault, you did this, why did you do it. They'll keep on asking these questions from children. Parents do that. And if you are somebody who's had a very rough childhood, you will feel offended or feel triggered when someone is confronting you. So sometimes when your partner is coming to you and saying to you that, I want things to change, I want things to become better, but you don't want to listen, because the moment they come to you and confront you about your bad behavior, you get triggered. In that time, you need to understand that this person is coming with a genuine concern. And if someone is coming with a very, very genuine concern about your bad behavior, then take out the time and listen to them. Because what happens is that most times we don't pay attention to our own behaviors, we don't pay attention to the way we are speaking to others. Someone is asking you to pull your socks up and do better in a job or in a relationship, and you feel confronted by that, then you need to work upon this emotional trigger of yours. And you can do that by asking yourself, why do I react this way? The sixth trigger is when you feel underappreciated or undervalued. And this is something that happens to a lot of people in a relationship. Mostly it happens to people in relationship. It can happen to people in careers too. But you know what? Whenever you feel underappreciated or undervalued in a career, what you do is you switch careers, right? But you cannot switch relationships that easily. If you're doing that in a relationship, if you're changing your relationships very, very fast because you feel undervalued or underappreciated, then maybe it's happening because you have a lot of emotional trauma. You carry in a lot of emotional baggage, and you need to work on that. So you need to identify, why are you feeling this way, why are you feeling underappreciated or undervalued. And most times you'll find that you do that because you have an expectation from another individual to keep on giving you this appreciation all the time, that you're doing very well, and you are looking for appreciation because you never got that as a child. You were never appreciated for the good homework that you put in, or you never got appreciated for the projects that you did in schools, and the plays that you did in schools. No one really came up and told you, you did well. Maybe they came up and told another child, or your sibling or another student at school, that you did really well, but you were the one who was overlooked. And because you were overlooked and you got underappreciated or undervalued as a child, what happens is, now as an adult, you want to look for that appreciation from your partner. And if you're somebody who's not getting that kind of appreciation, then you can have a sit down with your partner. But even then, if let's say your partner appreciates you, but they don't do that like verbally. Sometimes people don't appreciate you verbally, but they do that by simply, taking on your chores. They appreciate the effort you're putting in. And there are some silent partners who don't speak much, but they do in a lot of home chores. If you're a woman and you have a husband who's doing in a lot of chores at home, and maybe he doesn't appreciate you very often, he doesn't come up and say, oh, you've done a fantastic job in the kitchen, the meal was really nice. But he gets up, picks up the plates, cleans those plates up, cleans up the kitchen, your untidy kitchen. Then that is the way in which they are appreciating the good meal that you cooked. So look for these small little actions. Sometimes people don't have a lot of idea on what they need to say. And let's say you're a man, and you don't feel appreciated or valued enough, but you get a good meal at home. Maybe your wife is not telling you that, thank you for the gift that you gave me. She's not really speaking it verbally, but she's cooking you a good meal, or she's folding your clothes and putting them in the almirah. Those are small little actions that we overlook. We never look at these actions like someone who really loves you and cares for you is doing for you. So, need to understand that it is only a perspective. The way we are looking at things is just skewed. We have been looking at things from a perspective of a small little child who never got appreciated, and as an adult we are still looking at things the same way. We are very very suspicious of people, but we need to let go and deregulate these emotions. Let's come on to the seventh emotional trigger, and that is past trauma. Most people never work upon their past trauma. Sometimes we don't need to forgive the individual because that individual deserves it. We need to forgive that individual because we deserve that forgiveness. Because if we do not forgive people, if we do not move on, what we are doing is we are taking on a lot of negative energy, a lot of trauma, and keeping it within us. And I don't want that in my life. I don't want to keep that negative energy in my life, that dark energy in my life. I don't want that. And if you are somebody who's conscious enough of the way they are feeling this way about their past trauma, that I need to let go, then you need to forgive that individual and you need to move on. And unless you forgive that individual and you forgive yourself and you forgive the divine, you will never be able to move on. Because what happens is that we keep these traumas so close to our chest, we never want to let them go. And because we keep them so close, they pile up. It's like having a lot of garbage in your mind. So if you keep collecting on that garbage is going to stink up your mind and is going to affect your everyday life. You will feel like you cannot live this life happily or joyously, and you're not worthy of this good life. So you need to clean up your emotional baggage, and the best way to do that is to start forgiving those people. If emotional trigger, that is disrespect or unfairness. What happens most times in our life is that we get disrespected, or we feel that people were unfair to us. And it usually happens to people who have a few siblings, more than two, sometimes even two. So there is an unfairness in the household. Parents are more in tune with one child than they are with the other, and they usually compare. If you're a parent and if you're listening on to this vlog, then you must understand that you can never compare two children. Two individuals born with two different identities will behave differently, and if you're comparing them, then you are just creating a lot of trauma in your children. So, if you are somebody who's gone through a lot of unfairness in life, who faced a lot of difficult times as a child, you lost your parent, or you were not having the right finances to even uh, get the right education, and you had a narcissistic parent at home. Now, as an adult, you feel triggered when someone is unfair to you, and you need to go back and see what is the past trauma of mine that is triggering me into this way. Why am I behaving this way? It is very, very difficult to overcome unfairness because it's really a deep trauma that people go through. Because it's not happening at one point of time in their life, it is happening throughout their life. And to overcome that, you have to start being fair to yourself. And how can you be fair to yourself? When you start telling yourself that it is me that has to first remove this emotional trauma from my life. Because if I don't do that, if I keep on hanging on to this idea that life is unfair to me, life will be unfair to me. So I need to become grateful of whatever I have received in my life. Maybe I don't see it right now, that I got really good things too, along with the unfair things. And once you become grateful, whatever the divine has given you in this life, you will find that you are able to overcome this unfairness in your life. Because this unfairness in your life usually happens when people are not nice to you. As a child, you faced a lot of unfair parents, unfair siblings, and the environment was very, very toxic at your home. And you grew up feeling neglected, but now you are an adult and you are able to work upon your emotional state. And that is where you need to be grateful that as an adult I am looking for that emotional healing. God gave me this idea that I can heal myself. So the ninth emotional trigger is comparison. If you were compared a lot as a child, you will feel triggered. So it's happening in offices where your work is being compared to another colleague of yours and you feel triggered. You tell your boss, I don't need that comparison, I am doing well. Yes, this comparison uh, theory that you can compare to individual in itself is very very flawed. And if someone is comparing you, just don't react. Understand that they are doing this because they have no idea of how to live a good life, and they'll keep on comparing themselves and they'll keep on comparing other individuals. And if you're sitting with somebody who compares you a lot, then either you need to have a conversation with them or leave them, because this comparison thing is the reason why you feel triggered throughout your life. Because as a child you got compared a lot with your siblings, with your classmates, and you were never good enough. So if you were weak in maths, or if let's say you were weak in English, you got compared a lot. Every individual has a certain weakness. Maybe that individual is really good in maths or English, but they're really bad in Hindi, and your Hindi is really good. So don't feel offended when someone is comparing you, because at the end of the day, you know where your strength lies. And once you know your strengths, you will never get offended by this comparison. The 10th emotional trigger and the last one is feeling trapped or feeling helpless. Now, usually this happens to people who are living with narcissistic individuals, and I've already posted a video on how you can leave a narcissistic individual. So if you are somebody who's feeling very, very trapped and feeling very, very helpless, then you are living with a narcissistic individual. And if you are, then you will keep on feeling this way. It is because this individual is manipulating you and creating these circumstances. And that is the reason why you're feeling trapped and feeling helpless. So the first thing that you need to understand is that yes, I am feeling trapped, I am feeling helpless. And once you do that, you will be able to leave these relationships or these people. Because what happens most times is that we willingly give away our individuality, our freedom to people, and we tell them, we want you to lead a life. Nobody can lead your life except you. And if you don't understand that about your life, if you want someone to lead you and to give you this good life, then you will get trapped by a narcissistic individual. So you need to become independent, and you can only become independent if you are independent emotionally and financially. So I hope you liked my vlog. If you liked my vlog, do like, share and subscribe and comment down below. And thank you for watching. See you in the next one.